Hey guys, Inferno from Dragonic Empire here with another deck profile for you guys, and this one is going to be of my Nova Grappler Blau deck. So yeah, this is the big boss, Galaxy Blaukluger. His effect is Limit Break 4, Counterblast 2. When any of your rear guards with Blau in their name hit the Vanguard, you get to stand this guy back up and the unit behind it. It is Counterblast 2, discard 2 cards from your hand as the cost to restand, but you're restanding, so restanding Vanguard's always pretty powerful. And we are running 4 copies of that because it's the big boss, its artwork is awesome, and you want to get to see your hand so you can actually do all the effects, hopefully. So yeah, 4 copies of the Galaxy Blaukluger. Next grade 3. I'm only running 3 copies of Mon Blaukluger, because it's the brake ride and it's really good. Its effect is when a Nova Grappler unit rides over it, it gets plus 10,000 power, pretty standard. And its secondary effect that it gives to the grade 3 on top of it is that it gives the effect of Counterblast 1. When the unit on top attacks the Vanguard, you can Counterblast 1 and stand up all your rearguard units, which is really powerful. I mean, it combos. I think it personally combos better with the Ashura Kaiser as opposed to Galaxy Blau, because it doesn't seem to synergize as well with this as it would with Ashura Kaiser. Mainly due to the fact that to get the most out of his brake ride skill, you need to attack with your rear guards first, and Galaxy Blau's skill of restanding is you need to attack with Galaxy Blau first to mainly get the restand factor off, but I mean it doesn't synergize as well as you think it would in practice. Actually, I should point out the restand effect is only once per turn, so you can't just attack with the Vanguard. Oh, it hit, stand back up. Attack with the rear guard. Oh, it hit, stand back up. You can't do that. That would be a little bit broken, but yeah, restanding Vanguards. Yeah, the brake ride, in my opinion, doesn't synergize as well with Galaxy Blaukluger, but it definitely does apply a lot of pressure, which is why I'm running 3 copies of it. Last grade 3 of the deck is the Stern Blaukluger, which happens to be the cross-ride base for Galaxy Blaukluger. So if you have Stern in the soul, he's a 13k base, which is, yeah, it's all good. And plus, because Stern's effect isn't limit break, you can restand earlier if you get the chance to. What Stern's effect is, for those of you who don't remember, it's well, 1, if you got Blaukluger in the soul, he gets plus 1,000, so he's 11k base. His second effect is if you hit with Vanguard, you can Counterblast 2 and stand this unit back up and the unit boosting it back up. But he loses Twin Drive, which is a small price to pay, but yeah, he's pretty good, and he's searchable, and obviously the cross-ride base for Galaxy Blaukluger, if you want to go the cross-ride route instead of brake ride route. So on to the grade 2s. The main grade 2 ride, which you should be aiming for, is the Blaukluger, the 4 Blaukluger. Mainly because his effect only works on the Vanguard circle of he can unflip a counterblasted damage if he hits. And yeah, if he's in the soul and you do have to ride this guy, he at least makes it 11k base rather than 10. So you do want to have to ride this given the choice. And comboed off with Morgan Rot, you can get a free card for no counterblast at all, because he counterblast 1, but then he unflips it straight away. So yeah, comboed with Morgan Rot, he gives you a free card. So you do want to have to ride this grade turn 2. Our next grade 2 is 4 copies of Mars Blaukluger, which is a pretty good card. The idea is you attack with him first, and then he can use his effect. His effect becomes more live, where it's when your Vanguard hits, you can counterblast 1. The Vanguard has to have Blau in its name, so you can't just splash it in any Nova Grappler deck. But if your Vanguard hits and he's rested, you can counterblast 1, stand it back up, and he gets plus 5,000 power, which, yeah, is good. So he really helps with your early game rush, which is what Nova Grapplers tend to shine at doing. And his artwork is really nice, actually. For those of you who like stuff like Gundam, this sub-archetype of Nova Grappler is definitely something you should look at. And he's a 9k base otherwise, so yeah, not a bad rearguard too. Our last grade 2, for consistency's sake, we are running Jupiter Blaukluger, just so we have stuff with Blau in its name. So later on, making columns with Blau in a name isn't too much of a problem to get his effect going. So yeah, he's a 10k vanilla. He just makes a decent rearguard. If you have to ride him grade 2, it's a good defensive ride, although, as I've said earlier, you do want to have to ride this guy, given a choice. So that rounds up 11 grade 2s. On to the grade 1s. 4 Blowout Dunkle, which is our perfect guard for Blau. And it looks really nice in terms of artwork. So yeah, it's a perfect guard. Not too much that can be said about those. Next grade 1. I'm running 4 Tough Boy because it's an 8k vanilla and I happen to have space for it. I would be running Shouts, although I can't seem to find mine, so Tough Boy will do for now. He's an 8k vanilla, good defensive ride for turn 1, good booster. Not too much can be said about that, but yeah, pretty vanilla card. In fact, it is a vanilla card, what am I saying? It's just a solid card. 8k vanillas are just solid cards. If you have the space for them, you should run them. Although, yeah, like I said earlier, I probably would be replacing these with Screaming Dancer Announcer Shouts, because that can help filter through the deck better, because Shout is 7k, tap it and drop and draw a card. Next grade 1, which really helps with your counterblast management, is the 4 claydol mechanics, and this guy is really great because when you call him and you have a counterblasted damage, you can unflip a counterblast, which is, he's your damage and flipper essentially. But he doesn't have any conditions like you have to hit like the grade 2 counterblast and flippers do. You just have to call him to the rear guard and you get to unflip a damage, which is really good because you can continually pressure with this guy by making sure you always have 2 unflip counterblast, and you can make use of like all the other effects as well, such as Mars Blaukluger. Because a lot of these things counterblast 1, and this guy really helps you sort of recycle those counterblasts and reuse them. And it's a 7k booster otherwise, so it's a really solid card. So I would recommend you play him. Last 2 grade 1s is 2 Blau Panzer. Yeah, he's there because you can drop a grade 3 and search for Sturm Blaukluger. So he's there to give you the option of going cross ride route over break ride route. So say like you have this in your hand and you have either a break ride or an extra one of these, so you've got 2 of those in your hand. You can use him, ditch one of these, you thin out your deck 1, and it gives you the choice of going cross ride or break ride, so that's why I really like him. I mean, you can obviously change him out for whatever you want, but this is just how I prefer my grade 1 lineup and grade 3 lineup, evidently. On to our triggers. 4 crit, 4 more crit, so that's 8 crit, but I would suggest you find the red lightnings if you can, because it's the classic crit of when you push it into soul you get to unflip a damage. So unflipping damage is really quite, I would call it essential, but I call it helpful. It's extremely helpful in this deck, because a lot of things, like I said, counterblast 1, and being able to unflip that 1 extra damage to pressure that 1 extra time can be really clutch. So yeah, 8 crit, but try and find red lightnings if you can. The rest of the crits can be whatever you want, but I've gone for the Blau ones because they look really nice. They don't have Blau in their name, which is weird, but yeah, the Blau crits just look good. So that's 8 crit. 4 draw, the 4 Blau ones obviously, to just keep the theme of things, and the artwork looks great. And 4 heal. So it's a classic ratio of It's a classic ratio of 8-4-4, but this is what I find works great in this deck. So yeah, so that's our trigger lineup. And of course the starter is Morgenrot. Now, he is a really solid card, and yeah, he can be quite annoying for your opponents too. But what he does is, no matter where he is on the field, so long as he's still alive, obviously, when your Vanguard with Blau in its name hits the... does it have to hit the Vanguard? No, yeah, it has to hit the Vanguard. Okay, when your Vanguard with Blau in its name hits the Vanguard, so that will probably be from grade 2 onwards, because most of the grade 1s are Tough Boys and claydol mechanics. Yeah, when they hit, you get to counterblast 1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and add 1 card to your hand with Blau in its name. So yeah, he can be a really good engine to get. He really helps get your key components to your hand, and plus, if you have a perfect guard within those top 3 cards, you can add a perfect guard to your hand, which is something Conroe could do back in the day. I miss Conroe. Actually, yeah, now that I think about it, this is probably why the triggers don't have Blau in their name, probably, because otherwise it'll make that quite consistent. Because if the triggers did have Blau in their name, you could essentially add a 10k shield to your hand for free, which, yeah, wouldn't be too fun for your opponent to deal with. So I guess I can see why the triggers don't have Blau in their name, just for this guy. So he just really helps cycle through your deck and search for your key components. I wonder where the rest of the cards go. Okay, you search your top 3 cards for a card with Blau in its name, and the rest gets shuffled back in the deck. So, and it's a 5k booster. So basically, so long as this guy's on the field, you can dig through your deck for components. And it really does help if you happen to be grade stuck as well. On grade 2, that is. So if you don't have a grade 3, you can try and dig for it, and you will likely to hit it. So it's a really solid starter. So this was my Blau deck. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.